just going right into it, folks.
Snap that right into reality.
It's that time. It's Northside Plug time.
Northside Plug. How you feel?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Whoa. Okay. Let me ease us into that. Welcome to Northside Plugged. It's Thursday night around 9:30. I'm Justice. I got my friend G Money.
Yo.
G Note to the left of me, and ISO Aaron to the left of him.
Yo.
Always posting up.
Always
posting up.
We're back for another episode. Here on Q4 Radio. Anybody wants to, join our show and join into the experience like every week, our caller line on Skype is 312-985-7834. We are without Boss Dan today, unfortunately. He's feeling a little bit under the weather. Aren't we all today? Aren't we all this week?
Seasonal depression.
But that's okay. That's okay. We will continue in stride and continue without him today, and that's all right because it's a mournful, grieving week for the whole world. I would say.
Definitely.
It's one of those weeks for sure. We linked up a couple days ago because we wanted to do a special episode on not atypical from our Thursday nights here, just so we could specifically talk about. What happened a couple days ago? Tragically, the loss of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna Bryant in a helicopter accident in where was it? California.
California, kind of around
Calabasas, California. Definitely a blow felt throughout the entire NBA, if not the entire world, guys. We just want to start off this week giving our most sincerest condolences to the entire Bryant family and urge everybody just kind of let them have this time right now to process exactly what's going on, because I mean hardly any of us really know how to process it, let alone I can only imagine how difficult this must be for the family. So without further ado, all sentiments aside, warm welcomings for everybody. This is a safe space for everybody to talk about how they feels about this. But on a lighter note, we got a lot of good music coming out. You know what I mean? I need something to look forward to, and some Lil Wayne is one of those things I'd be able to top that right off, especially to my Lil Wayne fans to the left of me here.
Wheezy Wayne, definitely. Well, I mean, it's just crazy, bro, because right before the show was starting, if you're watching on the YouTube, and it says, Northside Plug talks Kobe and Lil Wayne, and like literally right before we went on, I was like, yo, this looks like 2008 all over again,
Exactly.
And I don't know, just like, at least personally, I feel like 2008 was a big year for myself, because I feel like that was the first year where I really started to pursue and be a part of pretty much this stuff now, music, sports, whatever. And Kobe and Lil Wayne, like, were two of the main ones, and to be honest, at that time I was a Boston Celtics fan. Like, I was rocking with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce and all them, but just having Kobe's presence, and before and after, just his whole career, man, just what a tragedy. And it's been really sad, and it's hard, like, this is something that it's very rare, and especially with somebody to this magnitude, and you got people like Lil Wayne, you got everybody, artists, people from all over the world, just, sharing their condolences and sharing their stories and what they remember about Kobe. And it's just sad, and it's unfortunate.
It's funny, like you say, 2008, just because obviously they're both on top of their games at that time. Kobe wins MVP. Wayne is obviously top of the rap game. That's when he was really just being Wayne. That's why we remember Wayne as such a influential artist. And you look back and it's like, those are the times that kind of shaped you as to be the person you want to be now. Watching Kobe and watching those interviews, watching him talk about Mamba mentality, watching him dominate on the floor, watching him do the things that he did, and then watching Wayne and like hearing the stories about how Wayne was always working the hardest, and how he would leave a show, go to the club, and then go to the studio for the rest of the night, and how he was always on the road, and his shows were like pretty legendary to us. The way we were kind of watching, I remember just watching like clips of the shows on like or on the TV or whatever, and he would just the energy he brought always was just crazy. So you know, losing Kobe was huge. It was big for me. It really it really was a devastating blow, I think. And just as a person who was watch Kobe as I grew up, that was the first real player that I really liked when I watched the NBA. That's the player who got me into basketball, period. Just to see him go like that, and just like knowing that not usually it's usually not like that for basketball players. You remember seeing like Bill Russell at the finals, and like Bill Russell has been old since I was like a kid, you know what I mean? Like seeing Kareem and stuff like that, and for him to die just so tragically, it was just heartbreaking, you know.
And the timing of everything, right after LeBron passes him on the all-time scoring list,
day after, man. Like it's I saw such a wide range of reactions. Like I top of most, like I've never seen such a wide array of grown men cry before in front of me, you know what I mean? Just like even I had a moment where I was talking about it with my roommates, and it was just like it just hit me, man. You know what I mean? Like in a way that like I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing when Mac Miller died, and just in the context of like how my life was going in that moment. But like this was something that was just kind of so unprecedented and so tragic that like not only it wasn't like Mac Miller was like an Americanized tragedy, you know what I mean, that like everybody knew about immediately, but the world kind of just reacted to it, where like I truly felt like the world felt this, you know what I mean? Like Kobe was one of those iconic figures that like, you know, a lot of Asian countries grew up loving, and next to like D Wade, like I see two of those two players like really beloved by, you know, by the Chinese community and a lot of Asian communities that you know, basketball kind of expanded towards like their heydays. And just the fact that like knowing that the whole world felt that at that time, you know what I mean? Like amidst the entire tragedy, I always have to step back and think like, man, what's gonna come of this? You know what I mean? And I see the Lil Wayne project that's gonna drop it, and I have to think to myself like, man, like this guy's had to have had this project done for like months, if not like at least a year. He's just been waiting for the time where it's just like I'm gonna drop this in the time where people are gonna be receiving it the most. And I mean, just the fact that he's dropping something right now compared to him kind of holding off on a major project release the past couple years, I would put high hopes in the quality of this particular release.
Definitely. Hopefully. And you know,
because I know a lot of people deliberating on like, you know, how's this new Weezy album gonna be? You know what I mean? So
I think it's definitely eerie that it's the title of the album is Funeral, you know, and he's dropping it right now because he was already planning. He had said a couple weeks ago at least, or even a week ago or whatever, he was like, I'm gonna drop it supposedly. You know how Lil Wayne and artists in general are in terms of dropping music, but yeah, man, it's just tough. And I like the point that you made, bro, of just the work ethic of both, you know. And it's like I knew that, but I hadn't thought about that like that, you know, just both just in their primes at the time, and just in general, just the aspirations to be great, and going above and beyond to take those measures. And I feel like at the end of the day, like with Kobe's passing and Gigi and, you know, the 7 other people, it's just,
which really hit the hardest, man. Like as much as a man can accept like, okay, like Kobe Bryant is gone, just the fact like it's just you truly feel how like unfair life can be. Just knowing that like, you know, this girl, like what did she do to deserve that?
No, I find and go ahead, bro.
I just like I saw something on social media, and somebody just said that basically like he was saying as a father, you know, like, and as a parent in general, that has to be the hardest thing in the world, because you're wired as a parent to, you know, protect your children at all costs. That's how you're wired. And to know that you can't do anything about it in those final seconds, that had to be the worst and most heartbreaking thing for Kobe. And like it just made me feel even worse, you know. And like you said, his daughter like was just like a little kid, you know. And like, and the crazy thing is like the way he passed in a helicopter crash. He coptered everywhere. Like that was his thing. He coptered to practice, from practice. He coptered everywhere, you know, and so and like what, you know, like that's what happens. Like
it goes to show, man. Like, I mean, it's something that this man didn't think twice about.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, amidst all the risk, you know, it's like driving anywhere in the city. You know what I mean? Like, amidst all the risk that we take every single day just to do what we got to do to survive, like we ignore it because everybody else does it. You know what I mean? And I get that, like, Kobe was an anomaly, but like truly the family, like, knowing the pedestal on where this man stood, and the active role that he also took as a father, you know what I mean? Like, the moment where I heard that, like, they were found where she was in his arms is when it was too hard for me, man. Like, I couldn't help but be emotional when I heard that. And I don't know, it's one of those situations where, like, you know, I was able to talk to I was able to have a conversation with my dad about it. You know what I mean? Two men reflecting on a situation beyond them to be able to come to common grounds. Like, look, we have to appreciate the things that we have. And I feel like because of this, as tragic as it is, there are a lot of things that we can take away from it in retrospect, to be able to take more appreciation and gratitude for the things that we have, which is, again, a common thing that I think we have and, you know, express on this show, but like really kind of hammering that home as a theme today. You know what I mean? Like, everybody needs to realize that we're only dealt a certain hand, you know, at the get, until we figure the rest of these things out. And you know, we need to take time to appreciate those things and truly cherish those things, you know, despite, no matter what context those relationships might entail and hold. So I hope everybody at the very least can step back and find a moment to express that in some way, shape, or form.
And the reality is, bro, like, and I've already seen it in different ways, in different manners, and it's just like people forget, you know, and people, we regardless of whatever, you know, life, you always got to move on, you know, and part of the journey is carrying the grief with you, you know. And I just feel like even through the most tragic of tragic events, people still find a way to forget that, everything that, you know, you just said and we've been talking about. And I just think it's really important to, same goes with like New Year's resolutions and things. And it's just like, don't get me wrong, you know, we're all human, and, you know, things happen and we can't, you know, get done everything that we say or might want to get done, you know. But it's just staying dedicated and staying true to what you know is real, you know. And at the end of the day, like, this is something so huge that you gotta understand, you gotta realize, like, these petty things don't matter. These small,
I was just gonna say that,
you know, these small things that you feel about this person, that person, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, you know,
let it go.
You're gonna hold this anger and hold these grudges and whatever for what, you know. It's you're only hurting yourself, you know.
Exactly. Because
at the end of the day, like, if you as an individual know your purpose in life, and you know amongst your life, like, what you're trying to do and who you're trying to be there for and who you are there for, and you just tackle your priorities and get it done and just spread love, like, that's the recipe for success, you know. And
agreed. Yeah, I mean, to reiterate what you said, G, just let it go, man. Like, all that negativity, the anger, whatever you have, the bitterness towards people, no matter how bad they did you, forgive them and let them go. It doesn't mean you got to be best friends. It doesn't mean you got to be homies, but just let it go. Forgive them, speak when you see them, and keep it pushing, because life is just too short, you know. Like, I had a friend of mine, and, you know, we got into an argument over something dumb, you know, and we split ways, and I never see him again, because the next day he ended up getting somebody thought he was somebody he wasn't, and they shot him and killed him, you know. And we're arguing over something petty. I think a girl or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's not important. This stuff is not important. Like, you can't get the things you say, and you can't get it back. You know, it's like when you talk to your family and whatever over the phone, you say I love you, because you never know when you'll next get the chance to say that. You know, and it's just not important. You know, it's too much to live for, too much to be happy for, to be negative and allow anything to hold you back. You know. So seize the day. You know.
Carpe diem for sure.
I think one thing that deserves to be addressed, I think one thing that like that people all recognize amongst the situation was like the loss of a true killer mentality.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? A perspective that recognized a goal and focused completely on that goal until it was accomplished. You know, someone who truly just got something done in a way that we were all able to see in its entirety. You know what I mean? There were an entire regular season, entire postseasons, and just greatness throughout the entire way. You know what I mean? A honing of a craft to the extent that where we're able to pinpoint instances of genius and mastery. You know what I mean? And in the day and age where those things are readily available to us, right? In a way that like a lot of our skills that we're working on a regular basis aren't highlighted. You know what I mean? I think that as creatives, for us to return to that ideal, you know what I mean, to whatever degree, you know what I mean, because we have to recognize that this killer mentality is a form of obsession. You know what I mean? 100%. People fantasize over this concept of an obsession, but the beauty of it was that Kobe was able to at least project that amongst this like pure obsession for the game that he was able to be this representative of a family man that people can idolize and be influenced by. You know, and in all things, whether it be sports or music, whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to hone into, you know what I mean? It's this revisiting of this concept that someone who wanted something so bad went out and got it, you know what I mean? Went out and achieved it. Just the possibility of it, you know what I mean? Because like I've said several times on the show, like we sell the concept of hope. You know what I mean? To have that visualization of just that last second shot. Every boy who grows up and girl, my bad, who grows up fantasizing about being able to make that last second shot. You know what I mean? To win it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That against all odds situation. Yeah. Because we've seen it and it's existed and people have overcome it and conquered it.
I think that what was amazing about it was that like he had so much talent already, you know, from jump he had so much talent, but mixed with that work ethic, when he really hit his prime, it was just unstoppable. Like there was really nothing you could do
because it was his work ethic.
Because of his work ethic,
you know what I mean? Like he wasn't vetted the way that Michael Jordan was.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like this man, wasn't he like a second round draft pick?
No, he was first round. He was first round. He just didn't play, you know, his rookie year.
He wasn't one of those like highlight projects that you saw right off the bat. You know
People rocked with him, but they were skeptical.
They were skeptical.
Like the raw talent was pretty obvious, but people were just kind of nervous because it's like just his persona, his ego, you know. And then he was just, you know, he was a youngin coming out of high school, bro. Yeah. So it's, you know, you're taking a gamble, but
I think he was the underdog,
and he was the first like non-center to come out of high school too. That was the thing. So it was like we never seen a guy who wasn't a big come out of high school and actually like ball, you know. And at first it was like, well, they're not playing him, and you know, he just worked his butt off until like it was like, yo, like you're gonna have to respect me as one of the best. And once he did that, he was on top, you know. And it's just like that story of just how hard you can just work, even though you have the talent, but just outworking everybody, out practicing everybody. Every player has a story about how they come into the gym to shoot around early before the game. Kobe's already there.
Yeah.
And then they think they're done. They worked out a long time. They're like, yeah, I put in work today. Kobe's still there shooting, and that's just what he did, what he loved.
Yeah, 100%, man. So it sucks. It's tragic, and hopefully we can all learn something from it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you just gotta appreciate the time that the world had Kobe, and again, it all. I think that it rests on the shoulders of the families that are left with a new reality, and that those are the most, in this situation, the most important people that, we got to send prayers to and think about and be there for, and luckily, I mean, it was Kobe Bryant, so they're wealthy. So at least like financially, it's not something they're going to have to really worry about, which is a blessing.
Yes.
So it's just,
I keep thinking about the music, man. Like, clearly there's going to be every single man, woman, and child that wants to do some sort of dedication song. But, like, there's got to be some, like, nuggets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it be locally, whether it be just somewhere where somebody's just, like, where the pilot light is lit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
where someone's destiny is manifesting right now because of this loss, you know what I mean? That might not have happened otherwise.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely feel there's been a shift in awareness after this.
Yeah.
And I feel, and that's what I fear is gonna fade. And I've already kind of slowly seen bits and pieces of people already getting back into the norm of just doing and talking stupid things. It's just like we need to hone in on what's really important. And
but that's gonna happen naturally.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But it's like
we wouldn't be talking about Kobe on this level if there were 3 other people like Kobe in this world. You know what I mean? Like there's Dwayne Wade, right? Like there's Dwayne Wade. Like that's about, you know what I mean? Like it's like if Shaq died, if Dwayne Wade died. You know what I mean? And I don't want to make comparisons, but I'm talking about like I'm talking purely about like the mindset in which propelled these people forward. You know what I mean? Like it's not a wave that's supposed to like lift the ascension of the masses. You know what I mean? It definitely tickles us. It tickles everybody. Yeah. And that's the happening that's most profound. You know what I mean? Because most people can't even sense what's going on. You know what I mean? However fleeting it is. You know what I mean? 'Cause as you said, it comes and it goes and people are gonna let it pass. But like my point is that there are individuals in this world whose whole lives are going to be, their whole destiny is set in motion because of something that doesn't even that hasn't personally affected them. You know what I mean? Like they might never met Kobe Bryant, but his death is the thing that propelled them to, in 10 years we're hearing their music, or we're seeing them. You know what I mean? Someone like, I think of someone like Kendrick Nunn. You know what I mean? Someone who got the opportunity to showcase their ability to play because someone wasn't willing to do that. Dion Waiters, you know what I mean, wasn't willing to do what was necessary just to continue to prove that he's worthy of being in the NBA. Someone else got a shot, and now another local Chicago kid has that legacy because of that. You know what I mean? Who's that guy? Who's that NBA player who's in LA who's having a really hard time, homeless right now?
Oh, you're talking about Delonte West?
Delonte West. You know what I mean? Like for every just sad story, man. You know what I mean? Like there are people trying to just make a way for themselves, and people who will make a way for themselves who probably or might not have had that propulsion if not for some sort of tragedy. You know what I mean? And I'm saying all of this in light of the fact, like, we need to talk about these things. Everybody in the world is talking about it, but the things that just hurt the most, man, that just sit with us every single day, that resonate with us every day, that we don't even know how to describe or express to other people. You know what I mean? the things that make us feel like there's just not a whole lot of hope on a day-to-day basis, but just keeps us thinking about ourselves, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like our seemingly insignificant selves, until the moment where we have the opportunity to help somebody, whether we know it or not in that moment. You know what I mean? The one person who might be listening to this right now. You know what I mean? For all the people who support us and whatnot, who tune in later, whatnot. But someone who just kind of needs, to listen to three dudes just reminiscing right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, you know what I mean? I just need to talk to my mom for 5 minutes, or I just need to talk to my homie for like 5 minutes, just to hear someone's voice. You know what I mean? Because, like, apologies for the ramble, but we all get tired listening to ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
We all need to return to the community.
100%.
Yeah.
Our own community.
And that's what I was kind of having this conversation earlier. Like, there's not enough, I feel like, or they're just kind of hard to find, but there's not enough opportunities, I feel like, these days, to, especially people our age, to, I don't know, to be in spaces where we can feel that sense of community.
Yeah.
You can go to the rec center, you can go hoop, work out, you can come to Q4 and,
Exactly.
do, there's a lot of beautiful, things here that you can get your feet wet in, but it's just like, there's just not a lot of like openly accessible things for youth or for just people to come together and be able to bring that sense of community. I feel like, you see riots and you see like I don't know, just like, what's it called, I don't want to call it parade, but just people gathering in the streets, just what's the word? Why am I blanking out on the word? Whatever. Regardless, we need more community spaces.
Yeah.
And there's not enough people. I feel like either there's not enough people or there's just not enough money there where we're able to, be able to come together somehow, some way. I know I'm speaking generally, but it's just hard, and it's just like, I don't know. Do you guys want to bounce on?
I understand what you mean. I mean, I feel like the sense of community, since more of the rise of social media, has our sense of community with each other in person has kind of waned a lot. And now social media is the community, you know what I mean? That's where people get out what they have to say and things like that. And like, sometimes I can't stand it, because I kind of just want to sit and talk and be around people and speak to people. I feel like boxed in, when I'm on social media too much, and it's just like, I'm not communicating, and you just feel I guess lonely is the word, you know what I mean? And just like, even like, you just need that like time to just interact with other human beings, because that's what you're supposed to do as a human being. And I feel like, now it's kind of like the next generation is kind of robots, in a way. It's like,
it's just
phone
layers,
nothing.
you know what I mean? It's layers of comfortability. It's layers of, you gotta think of it this way, you know what I mean? We live in the digital age of dating. You know what I mean? My last couple serious relationships were results of me meeting people because of these mediums.
Right.
We don't have, our country's becoming more populated. We have less opportunities to go out and meet people the way that people had been previously accustomed to for the past hundreds of years. You know what I mean? We didn't have these, they're the ease of access, the amount of options that we have. You know what I mean? We struggle as a community and as a society with commitment and relationships, because we don't know exactly what we need in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, we project onto our friends and like our friendly platonic partners, like senses of desperation for companionship. You know what I mean? Like, and I have friends who I can just tell just so desperately just want to be loved. You know what I mean? The way that they think that love should be reciprocated. And we just live in a day and age where just like perspectives are just changing on a daily basis, man.
Yeah.
The way that we think we should perceive the world, the way that we should perceive relationships, and it skews our ability to have a relationship with ourselves, to truly know ourselves, because we're so busy getting caught up on what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
You know, like whether it's by pure choice or by circumstance, being able to separate yourself from that cloud.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what it feels like.
Because it is. It's a cloud in and of itself. It allows us to feel secure in the fact that we don't have to compromise our physical bodies to interact with people. But we forget that we are communal beings.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The time of year, it's a weird winter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The warmest winter I've ever experienced in my life, and now we have, you know, at least a whole reliable month of just cold weather. You know what I mean? Like I can't blame anybody for not wanting to go out and do anything right now, but still, like, everybody feels that longing of loneliness.
It's terrible.
You know what I mean? Feeling like everything else is happening around us. You know what I mean? Having those visuals, those things right in front of us.
Yeah.
We owe it to ourselves to disconnect from those things, and because they're not going to go away. You know what I mean? Augmented reality, virtual reality, they're all coming at rapid speeds and in ways that are going to require us to adapt even quicker than we already are.
Yeah.
But we need to allow ourselves those moments to truly become in tune with ourselves. You know what I mean? To become in tune with you know, a consolidation on one idea is to know yourself better. You know what I mean? I'm nothing but just a different version of you. You know what I mean? And every second of my day of my life, I have a different perspective, and I have, you know, the beauty of being able to share that in a way that is expressive, not you know, people don't know how to deal with the way that they feel. You know what I mean? I've talked about emotions being toroidal. You know, we feel them, we project them, and it returns to us. You know what I mean? And it's a cyclical thing. The way that apples grow, the way that trees grow, they grow outwards and back towards themselves, and they fuel themselves through the things that they project. Same goes with human emotions, the way that we interact with each other. You know what I mean? To be able to understand that everybody's feeling the same type of hurt right now. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, like, pain doesn't have to be a pure isolation. There's beauty in pain.
Yeah.
We're scared of our pain, bro. People feel,
there's beauty in pain, and there's pain in beauty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it goes, it's like the world is, for as bipartisan, you know, this or that, you know, liberal, conservative, like, the world isn't black and white. You know what I mean? It just comes down to, like, what we feel in our gut, how we can approach that same feeling in a different way, person to person, and how we can receive that from each person in a different way.
And it just comes down to, at the end of the day, communicating. You know, I feel like, based off of everything that you said, you know, it's just like, if we're, I don't know, man, like, I just feel like there's been such a lack of communication amongst people our age, you know, and in general. But when I'll just be straight up, I lose hope a lot of the times when I talk to people, because I'm like, I already know the direction of where this conversation is going, you know, and there's just not a lot of substance amongst conversations or what people are thinking about, or if that substance is there, more times than not, there's a lot of people, like Justin said, either they don't know how to, like, process their emotions and it comes out wrong, or it's just not coming out at all, you know. And I come to find so many times, like, when I, you know, because I do feel what Justin was saying in terms of this time, and I know I've talked with ISO about it. Just January this time around in Chicago, just cold weather in general. It just it sucks. You can't go out and do stuff. You know.
And you don't have the motivation
You
to
don't
go.
have the motivation.
And it's gray. It's dark at 5 o'clock. It's just terrible, you know.
Listen to this music, man. Like for the past couple of months, actually, when I first started coming on Northside Plugged, our main playlist, right, was some lo-fi, like jazzy, boom bap beats, right. We felt the need to kind of make the flow of our show a little bit more up tempo, change to a trappy Chicago drill music type of playlist. And it's really just kind of like measuring the vibes, you know. Like we started talking about Kobe, and like we getting in our feelings right now, and I'm switching back to lo-fi, you know what I mean? Like just kind of feeling the waves of life as it's hitting you.
Master
you know
of the tracks,
like,
just
of course. I just had one more thing about Kobe. What were you guys like favorite Kobe moment?
That's tough.
I would say my favorite Kobe moment would have to be watching Kobe beat the Celtics. And like even though like because I really hate the Celtics.
You know what I was gonna say, bro?
What?
My favorite moment was Kobe losing to the Celtics. R.I.P. Kobe, bro. But man, 2008, yeah. Shout out Boss Dan if you're listening, bro. I'm riding with you on that one.
I gotta say 2010, and just that was his last ring, and like just watching him just like not even play well in that last, not play well offensively in that last game, but defensively come through, get a lot of decent rebounds, and also like at that point he was like so confident in his skills, and he was so confident in his teammates that we actually saw the Kobe that we had wanted to see for the time before. We were like, oh, you shoot too much, and I think in that like playoff run was just him like learning to, hey, I'm gonna trust Powell because I'm gonna get off the ball and he's gonna give me the ball and I'm gonna get an easy bucket. And I think that was like my favorite Kobe moment was just watching him go through that whole playoffs, but especially that Boston series, because I feel like that was one of his better series.
I feel like I don't have if I'm gonna choose a specific moment, like I really love that shot over D Wade.
Oh yeah,
that shot was smacking.
Oh yeah,
but just watching him play in general, I was never like a huge Kobe fan. Like I always respected his game, and I always liked. I mean, I definitely really enjoyed watching like Laker home games. I always just loved the aesthetic of how it looked. You know, I love how they like dim the lights, and it's just like super bright and yellow, and it feels like a star-studded game, you know.
Exactly.
So I would always just really enjoy watching the Lakers on like TNT or whatever, you know. But what I just enjoyed and love and gonna miss about Kobe is just like you would just watch him and be like, damn, he gonna smack that shot. Boom, smacks that shot. Like I've never to this day I've never seen a player other than Kobe where like more times than not when he's gonna shoot that ball he's gonna make it, you know. And I'm not like
maybe Damian Lillard.
I'm not skeptical about Kobe taking a shot because
it's
like,
Kobe.
It's a hard ass shot, but it still goes in.
It's just you would like watch him take like the worst shot, bank it in, swish it, and you just be like, the only thing you can say is like, wow, that
3 defenders on him.
It's Kobe, like and like the few times when he would miss. I remember he played the Bulls one time, and like it's end of the game, and he gets a fadeaway, and I'm like, well, we lost this game, and like he misses, and like I was so excited. I'm like, wait, there was not a foul. There's not something going on where he's gonna be able to. It's just like, oh my goodness, but you know, it was nice to watch. You know?
My favorite Kobe moment, I'd say, would probably be the earliest memory that I have of Kobe Bryant, and that would probably be early 2000s when I think it was like Dreamcast, right? The earliest like 2K that I had.
Oh yeah.
And like my first best friend, his name was Joshua Harris. Like that was my first exposure to like understanding who was a part of basketball, and like my earliest memories of Kobe, it gave me a perspective that never changed. You know what I mean? Like Kobe was always Kobe from the moment I heard about him and saw him and knew about his greatness till the day that he died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that, those are my earliest memories of understanding what basketball was.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I remember like the first house that I can remember living in. You know what I mean? Just like some of my first friends. You know what I mean? Like it's truly like a family member passing. You know what I mean? Just like an end of an era. It's like Tom
100%.
Brady dying. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just knowing that these eras are coming to an end. Like, you know, I've seen like my true love of basketball came when I saw the before and after of like when before a team was truly great to the ascension of that team's greatness. And that was when that first year when Golden State won, when I was freshman year roomies with G Money, and I saw him commentate that entire season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before Steph Curry was Steph Curry, I saw that the whole thing happen.
Yeah.
And it helped me grow an appreciation for the entire time that I knew what Kobe's greatness represented, because my entire existence, man, like the 24 years on this earth, that man has always held that same standard.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like just an unwavering desire to be great, and a full realization of
Consistency.
that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just a perspective that wouldn't let anybody tell him he wasn't who he was.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean? Despite everything that anybody said about him. Like I never, Kobe was one of those players where like you could tell me anything that happened to him. At least anything that pertained to on the court. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it really didn't matter. Like you can't touch that man's legacy. There's not a player who can come close. You know what I mean?
I don't think
even the greatest of all time who still plays. You know what I mean? Like there's still an argument for it. You know what I mean? This man's still breaking records. This man's still going for championships, and he still has work yet to do and things to prove before he can even be in the conversation of like, is he number 2? Because it comes down to like, he number 2? Is he number 3? Because
and for all the people who play 2K, I know like you got torched by Kobe at least once, because I played my career and Kobe used to just give me the works. It used to be not fun. Like playing against Kobe, I like in 2K was like the worst, because it was just like how it was in real life. Like that's the crazy thing. It's just like relentless, you know. And watching that growing up as a kid, that's why I fell in love with basketball. Truthfully.
I feel like now would be a good time to take a little breaky break.
Of course.
Come back and we can get into some music. Kind of start talking about the things that we're preparing for. I know we had a little conversation earlier in the day. We got some stuff that a little bit more specifics, but we got some content that we are definitely prepping for the community. So y'all stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We still got a lot to talk about, folks.
Northside plug. Rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace, Gigi. Rest in peace, everybody that passed away.
R.I.P.
Ever seen in history. Honestly, I look at Kobe Bryant as that guy that is the best, one of the best in our league.
It's just that simple. There's nothing that Kobe Bryant can't do.
But what he did for the game of basketball was simply legendary.
Kobe Bryant is a worker, and he's made himself the best. And I can guarantee you, if they have practice tomorrow, he'll be the first guy there as well.
Kobe, I think, is one of the greatest competitors in the history of the game.
His performance was so awesome that you can't help but respect it.
Even though I was on the court, I just want to watch Kobe. You know coolest thing is it was just so much fun just watching him go to work.
I've got to take Kobe Bryant.
I like Kobe Bryant even better.
One time, one game, I'm taking Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant is the best player in the world.
Welcome to the Kobe Show. Take two.
Bleacher Report, top 50.
Mike Krzyzewski was going to be the guy. It could have been his shot. Jeff Hampton. Here goes Kobe. Kobe's able to come on in. Left-handed. As the shot clock expires.
Number 49.
In foul trouble with 4, approaching 7 to play. Kobe Bryant. Unbelievable. Diagram that. You can't. Not in your wildest imagination.
Number 48.
Over the glass. Kobe! Give me a break. Welcome to the circus. And he only shot that ball because he said, I'm getting an and one.
Number 47.
Not the old-fashioned way. Kobe on a spin, on a pivot. Yes! 121 to 103. 9 for Kobe. Shot is something. You talk about utilizing your pivot foot.
Number 46.
Really going to shoot the free throws. He can barely make it to the free throw line. Bryant tonight with 32 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and he is hurting. But the Lakers down by 2, and they want him and need him at the free throw line. Got it. How he responds, like backpedaling or whatever he has to do to get to the other end. If in fact he gets to the other end before a foul, man. Made him. Lakers.
Number 45.
15. Now Yao. Did he walk? He's blocked away by Kobe from behind. I'm glad they didn't blow the whistle.
By Kobe, I mean, he's been coming out of center field with a lot of plays.
Number 44.
And interestingly, alley-oop to Bryant. Oh, what a play from Bryant. Off balance with one hand, gets it to go. He's got 14 points in a quarter.
Number 43.
6-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Bryant putting moves on James. Here's Bryant. Yes.
Only Kobe Bryant in this league has the ability to overcome a tough night.
Number 42.
This guy would try to get 50 tonight, and his team would have a chance of winning. But they're at their best, and he's making plays. Wow! And speaking of making plays, Bryant banks it in, off balance, falling down. Mama, there goes that man. Outstanding athletic ability.
Number 41. Number 40.
Kobe really attacked that Doug Christie second team all defense. So this guy's no slouch out there defensively.
Number 39.
Bryant calling for the ball. James on him. Bryant falling away. Puts it up. Puts it in. What a tough shot from Kobe Bryant. And the Lakers back up by 6.
Number 38.
Bryant attacking. All the way. Dunks it home. Kobe down the middle with authority. That very easily could have been an and one. Wow.
Number 37.
Ball gets a screen from Odom. Great play by Bryant. Kobe will take it in and throw it down on Paul.
Number 36.
Too strong. And a loose ball. Look who's got it. Double clutch reverse. 92-77. They're on their feet at tables. Timeout Hornets. Kobe showing a little bit of the young Kobe.
Number 35.
Hand Van Horn. Now you got to get this thing from Curry Kittle. Oh my God. Down, Kobe. Down.
Number 34.
Pick it up. Here comes the double. Kobe. Are you kidding me? Unreal. Are you kidding me? How strong was that? You have got to be joking.
Number 33.
Gotta hurry. It'll be Kobe. Kobe for a deuce. And the win, he got it. Guess what? He got it with 6/10 of a second to play. Hey, that's the guy you want shooting it.
Number 32.
Over series. Utah came back down last year to Houston in the first round. Bryant put it for himself. That
situation. He took the double team, split it, threw the ball off the backboard.
Number 31. Number 30.
Simpson in the bottom, back out Bryant. Shot clock at 7. Bryant leads, falling away, puts it in. And the Lakers take a 1-point lead with 7.3 remaining. What a clutch shot once again from Kobe Bryant. It's impossible to play better defense than Ray Allen just played against Kobe Bryant.
Number 29.
Inside of 7 to play at 95-92. Behind his back on a spin. Oh, and the slam. He'll go to the line. What a play. The crowd was on their feet. Look at that one behind the back to spin. Nice play. And Kobe, show me some footwork.
Number 28.
Selected for the Olympic team that declined to go.
Ray Allen. Oh, swatted away by Kobe. Rashard Lewis cleans things up down inside.
Number 27.
Fourth quarter the other night, played through it.
Good point. Battier watching Kobe. Scooping, driving, and putting it in. How in the world did he do that?
He passed himself off the backboard. That was a planned play, Kevin. I've seen him do that a lot.
Number 26.
Gets some space again. George Lynch. 2 seconds, 1 second. Kobe pump fake. Kobe for the win. Kobe Bryant.
Number 25.
Shot clock now to 5. Bryant. Yes. And that was a little tough to Alvin Gentry. Add insult to injury, Kobe. I mean, what a shot. I mean, you can't defend that. Are you kidding me? You can't defend that, Marv. I mean, Grant Hill is all over Kobe Bryant. Watch him hang.
Number 24.
The room he needed to get that shot up. Bryant. Oh, Kobe Bryant. A remarkable move.
You will see from Kobe Bryant this year so much athleticism, so much spectacular play.
Number 23.
The Gasol trying to find Kobe. And Kobe again for the win. He is hard to believe. No, he's not. Amazing again at the buzzer. Is there anybody more clutch than that man?
Number 22.
Kobe pops out. Kobe's going to go. Couple of left-handed dribbles. Have to look at it. The Lakers win!
Kobe Bryant loves buzzer beaters. He loves that scenario.
Number 21.
The ball comes in. Kobe's got it above the three-point line, taking a little bit of time. One dribble, pull up for the win. He's got it!
The Lakers win! Kobe Bryant.
Number 20.
Lakers for the win. Kobe going up over Bell. Ball away. He does it. Was there ever a doubt? Kobe wins it for the Lakers. They beat the Bucks in overtime. 107, 106, and the best in the game, the best closer, finisher.
Number 19.
Kobe Bryant at the point on a 1-4 offensive formation. Kobe Bryant pulls up for the shot and hits the basket with 2.6 to go, giving the Lakers the lead. What a heroic basket by Kobe Bryant.
Number 18. Number 17. Number 16.
That was a decent backbeat.
Yeah, man. Again, R.I.P. Shout out to Kobe, GG, everybody that passed away in the fatal helicopter crash. But you just gotta stay strong. You gotta keep moving forward. And you gotta stay positive. And as we say, just live our lives to the fullest and grind hard and make things happen. But that's why we're excited for this new Lil Wayne album.
Yes, sir.
Coming out in about an hour
Super
and a half's
excited.
time.
So I'm intrigued because, he dropped the Carter 5, last year, I want to say?
2018, I think.
2 years ago? Damn.
Well, it wasn't exactly 2 years ago because he dropped it at the end of the. He dropped it at the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I think I wanna say he dropped it maybe December because I remember it was Code.
True.
So maybe it was 2019, but it was early 2019.
And again, before we get into it, make sure you call our caller line 312-985-7834 if you got any questions, topics, concerns, want to chop it up with the Northside Plug crew.
Concerned about the quality of your content.
Well, you can shove it up
Formal
your
complaints
butt.
I will make.
Yeah, but man, I'm very intrigued because with Lil Wayne, my last super favorite project of his was the Carter 4. I really love that album.
That was a good one, yeah.
I could probably recite damn near all the lyrics. You feel me? Because that's one of the only albums I have actually on CD. So Carter 5 came and it was dope. Don't get me wrong.
It was
rocked
decent,
with it,
yeah.
but it wasn't quite to the expectations, especially with the time that between the Carter 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Where I was like, this is dope, but I'm like, I'm not feeling it.
I think and also what it was is that the Carter 5 was done so much longer ago.
Yeah.
And so when he did drop it, it was like even though there were new songs, you kind of felt like it wasn't it wasn't just done and then dropped.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the supposed track list now for Funeral. And it looks like they are going to have some pretty good features so far. So it looks like we have Nicki Minaj is on a song, Jay-Z, Big Sean and Trippie Redd, The Baby, Gutta Gutta, Lil Baby. So Lil Baby and Da Baby are each on different songs.
I'm excited for that Gutta Gutta.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And then he's gonna have a song with Corey Guns, Euro, and Jay Jones. So it looks like this is from what I searched up. Looks like it's what it's gonna be the track list. So I'm excited really for that that Jay-Z feature, just because if this is actually the track list and everything. I think what was the last one was Mr. Carter that they did together. Maybe did they maybe do one since then? I don't remember. I don't remember them on one, but since then.
Hey, Mr. Carter.
That song went crazy. I mean, obviously, I for me, Carter 3 was the best, his best for sure. But yeah. So I mean, I'm really excited. I can't wait to listen. Wayne is one of the few artists that when they drop, I go immediately and listen.
Same.
And it's I'm not like that with most artists. It takes me about 2-3 weeks, maybe even a month or two to actually listen to their new project. But Wayne is one. As soon as it drops, I make sure I have some, I'm playing a game or something and I put it on. So tonight, that's what I'm gonna do. Pour up that bottle of Capriccio and listen to Wayne.
Bottle of Tito's.
Tito! Tito, por favor.
Vodka ruined my family.
But yeah, I'm really excited about Wayne. And I don't know. Is there any other drops coming soon?
There's a whole lot. There's a new Drake drop coming. There's a whole new. Oh man, there's a whole post about it. How all this new music's coming out in the next month or two.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, you know what I mean? We really haven't had we've had those singles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But we really haven't had any of those heavy hitty. I mean, it's really been just the white girl season for the past 2019 year.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
I can't see one more of these high school females posting about how Billie Eilish rightfully won all those Grammys. You know what I mean? Like, we all gonna have our opinions, and I'm not gonna get into it, nor am I gonna answer any questions about it that are asked over Skype. Do not call me and ask me about Billie Eilish.
So I have a question about the
So Justin,
I'm about to cuss.
Billie Eilish.
Cuss on the radio.
No,
waves,
actually,
boy.
but I did have a question about the Grammys, not about Billie Eilish. But I just had a question. Like, has winning a Grammy lost the meaning that it used to mean?
No, not in the same way that, like, because what else is there past that? You know what I mean? Like making, like, selling a million, having a million streams as an indie label. You know what I mean? As an indie.
This is how I can answer that question, bro. Like, I feel like I agree with Justin. Like, no, the value and the, like,
it's the weight.
The weight, the notoriety that you get of getting a Grammy is unprecedented. Like, that's winning the NBA championship, and
right?
You know, that's the pedestal in terms of music. So 100%, like, as an artist, I strive to win a Grammy one day. Of course, you know,
like, my professors are like, hey, the Grammys are, like, back when I was at Columbia, the Grammys would be like, yeah, watch that and just, like, get a scope of like what the lay of the land is, because, like, despite everything that you like, not discredit anything, but this is what you're going up against on the professional field. Because this is what everybody is going to be referring to at the end of the day.
And
Grammy nominated people make their careers based off of Grammy nominated, let alone Grammy award winning.
I agree, and I just feel like on the other side of the question, it's just kind of like, it's, I don't know the best word, and I'm sure you guys can probably find it, but it's just like I don't know, bro. Like, it caters to mainstream white society.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
If we want to be realistic. And it's like the question that we can ask, and not at all knocking him, because I think it's well deserved, but how many other artists could have won in terms of hip hop, could have won a Grammy over Tyler, the Creator? And
that's I'm glad you went there, because
this beat is crazy right now. I really like this melody.
It really is. But that's exactly where I was gonna go, and I'm glad you went there, because even, I don't know if you may have seen this video, but even Tyler was saying, like, I mean, I wanted to win the Grammy, of course, but he was like, this is not rap. Like, he was like, this is not hip hop. You know what I mean? He's like, this album wasn't hip hop. You know? And he was just like, and he was saying, he was like, so, like, I don't really, like, this should have won pop album of the year. And he was like, I don't understand. It's like, he was like, you box every all of the artists who are people of color into the hip hop or urban box. And he was like, to me, what he said to me, I feel like that urban word is just a politically correct way to say the N word. And he was just like, so, like, I guess, like, I'm thankful that I won the Grammy. Obviously, like, I won a Grammy, but he was like, it doesn't feel the same, because it's like, I didn't make a rap album, you know, and to win hip hop album of the year, like, it didn't make sense to him, you know. And
it doesn't, and it goes to show the double, it's like, you know, it's like the Hall of Fame, you know what I mean? Like, there are numbers and members out of the Hall of Fame compared to those who are in the Hall of Fame that just don't, it doesn't make sense why they're not have been nominated, you know what I mean? Like, it just, and until it's just not a theme anymore, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be there. It's just going to be the black elephant in the room. I mean, no pun intended, clearly, but
I feel like another example, you know, from what, 4 or 5-ish years ago, is when Macklemore won over Kendrick. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, shout out Macklemore, you know, like, he's doing his thing.
I mean, what does he do? I can't think of a one single or project.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't
like,
name one.
Kendrick,
you know
is too influential in his
It wasn't, but I don't even want to, like, say, of course, like, Kendrick was influential because it was for that album, but, like, to say that Good Kid, Mad City wasn't the best album that year is just 100%, blasphemous. 100%. And it's not like it wasn't going against good projects, because I think Nothing was was it Nothing Was the Same dropped? Maybe was it
2013 was Nothing Was the Same.
So it dropped, but they dropped around similar time.
Yeah.
So he was actually going against real artists, real actual music, and it's like, yo, that album was one, his best album of all time. Two, it was just influential for the time. Like, it's one of the few albums that, like, to this day you can go listen to front to back and not skip anything. That's how good it was. And to not like win a Grammy and whatever Macklemore dropped, I don't even know what it was. I don't really care either, but like to put it over Good Kid, Mad City, that's when I kind of knew it's like, yo, that's crazy. You know, that's
straight
crazy.
blasphemous.
It's blasphemy.
I'll tell you something, Max Kellerman.
Speaking of which, bro, like Joe Rogan and Stephen A. Smith have been getting into it because basically Joe Rogan was questioning Stephen A.'s credibility in terms of boxing and MMA.
Yeah.
UFC. So that was.
I've been covering this sport 25 years.
No,
it's like, shut up, bro. Just stick to basketball and maybe some football.
I would say this, like, I was listening to Chael Sonnen, another MMA guy, and he was talking about it, and he was just saying like even, and I don't know if you guys sometimes hear, but like even when Stephen A is talking with somebody who's talking combat sports, he always says, hey, like, you guys are the experts, so I'm gonna say this, but I just thought, you know, whatever. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like they killed him because he had an opinion, and it's like, yo, you don't have to like their opinion. But like at the same time, like, it's Stephen A. Smith. He gonna say what he says. He says a lot of the things he says for shock value. Yeah. And like, if you're in that business, you should know that. You know what I mean? Yeah. At the same time, like, that's my only thing. It's like, yeah, you should know that that's what he does.
Maybe they do. Maybe, you know, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, it's only gonna help Joe Rogan's podcast and Stephen A. Smith's brand.
That's very true.
You know, like,
that is very true.
Because they're both at the top of what they do.
Of course, yeah.
You know? But no, I agree with you 100%, bro.
Oh man, and that Conor fight though. Connor's back.
Connor's back, dude.
Connor's back. So
do you have any insight on that?
Okay, so I'm watching so yeah, for sure. No, watching the fight back. It was a really good fight. He fought Cowboy Cerrone. And he just looked dominant. I was a little nervous because he usually fights at like 155, 145. But he took the fight at 170. And so it was like, is it maybe he doesn't want to work hard and like get down to the weight? Is it that like he's not really in shape? But he kind of showed that he's one, in shape, and that two, he's been really training. He's ready to go. So I think he gets a big fight soon. I mean, he had to win this Cowboy fight, and he had to win it in a kind of in a dominant way, in which he did. It took 40 seconds, and like there was people. It's funny, like a couple of people were saying like, oh, I think they rigged it because like, dude, you know, he just like got knocked out. But Conor was using shoulder strikes, and he broke this man's nose with shoulder strikes. Like, that was wild to me. I've never seen that before. He basically knocked him out with shoulder strikes. Then they broke out of the clinch, and then he kicked him with a head kick, and it was over after that. Like, he finished him. So looking forward. I hope we get the Nate Diaz trilogy. That's the fight. Because since he's at 170, he might as well. And then, you know, hopefully after that, you know, he gets a championship belt at the end of the year. You know, so. Connor's back.
Connor's back. Connor is back.
Speaking of sports,
I'll do your fucking mind.
Super Bowl is this Sunday. We got the Chiefs. We got the 49ers. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Who do you got?
I think the 49ers are gonna take it.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't much care about the teams, but I do like the Niners. But I'm gonna go with Rick Ross. He was saying this on First Take, and I agree with him, bro. Something about, I feel something in the universe. Something is on Patrick Mahomes' side, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ride that wave. I honestly, I would say, like, out of all NFL teams outside of the Bears, I do like the 49ers a lot. But
see, people said this about Cam Newton when they're facing the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. They're like, well, how is Peyton going to score against a team that hasn't lost a single game.
Right.
And their defense obliterated Cam Newton and the Panthers, and Cam Newton hasn't been the same
since.
And when it comes down to just such a stifling amount of just not only rookie talent but just like raw defensive like presence, you know what I mean? When you can stifle an offense that's just used to scoring whenever they want to, it's gonna get inside their head at the highest level. Like, as much as I like to promote other sports as being more progressive and whatnot, like the Super Bowl is the most watched televised cable program, if not program, in the United States, period. And I am not going to deny what Patrick Mahomes can do, but I don't think people realize what this 49ers defense can do.
Exactly.
And I also don't realize. I don't think people realize what Jimmy Garoppolo next to this 49ers defense can do.
Porn star Jimmy.
And I guess we'll let the cards fall the way that they may, but I know a lot of Chiefs fans are going to be surprised whether they win or lose.
I actually am leaning 49ers. And just the defense, but also if the way you win this game is by obviously stopping Patrick Mahomes, but also keeping the ball out of their hands. And the one thing I think the 49ers have is
Bosa, baby.
Best,
Bosa brothers.
Oh, the Bosa brothers, nasty. But also their running game is solid. And Kansas City can't stop the run. If you can run the ball, keep the possessions going, keep the possessions on your side, keep the ball in your hands more, make it so that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have time, and then he's starting to push a little bit, and then also you have that stifling defense. I always take a running game and a defense over the high-scoring offense, and so I would definitely have to say I'm leaning 49ers. I think the 49ers win it, but I do think it's a close game. And I do think we'll actually get some scoring.
Here's how I think what will happen. I feel like the Chiefs will score, but it won't come until like it's too late.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like they won't get the start. They'll start looking to start scoring immediately.
Exactly.
And they will get stuffed, and he will either go ham before the end of the half or it's over. Like he either puts up, I don't think, regardless whatever he does, I feel like the first quarter it can go both ways, but unless he starts dominating before the half, it's just not going to go anywhere.
And I think like the Chiefs fall behind all the time. They like to play from behind for whatever reason, and
it's not
you can't do that against the 49ers. You just can't, because once you get behind the 49ers, they're just gonna run the ball.
The thing about it is Jimmy Garoppolo's like their third option. It goes like their run game, their defense, and then Jimmy Garoppolo and his pocket passes.
Exactly.
And if you get to the point where Jimmy can start making a difference, you know that it's already too deep and too far ahead of you you know what I mean? Like if Jimmy's getting if they're giving Jimmy the opportunity to pass the ball, because he's not going to be making more than like 20 passes during that game.
Nope.
And if they even get to that point, like they feel comfortable enough to they feel at the point where they have control over the game.
Exactly. So I think the 49ers win it. Also, you know, Patrick Mahomes is still young. I think this is his second year in the league. So I do believe he'll be in many more
until he can prove to me that he's the next coming of Tom Brady. Like I'm just waiting for that to happen, and I hope it does. You know what I mean? Like I hope that this man's legacy can, you know, have a bright future with our young budding talent. But right now, until then, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I agree. So
that's all I have to say about that.
Yep.
I don't know. Y'all trying to do some like freestyle or something?
Of course, man. Super Bowl Sunday. Make sure y'all tune in Sunday.
Let me see what I can pull up from the woodworks.
What you gonna pull up from the woodworks?
What am I gonna pull up?
What you gonna pull up from the woodwork? Dang, bro. This man got the coronavirus.
That's me.
This just in quarantine the studio.
Oh no.
Corona. Padres, cabrón.
That's unfortunate that they call it that. That's the name.
I
of
like,
it.
bro.
I like Coronas.
He got to beat a Rooney.
You don't like it. I made it. But whatever. I don't like the beat.
You ain't opting. Play something you like, bro.
Well, I like it.
Alright, bet. You wanna hop on this, bro?
Of course.
I wouldn't be playing if I didn't like it. It's not my favorite.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I guess I'm gonna go first. I guess I'm gonna start it off.
Yeah.
I'ma plug in through the woodworks. Yeah, I'm about to take off. I'm about to blast off in my spaceship. Shout out to my boy, yeah, we got the spaceship. Face this, yeah, history in the making. This is greatness. Everything that we chasing, I ain't chasing no women. Shout out real women. That vibe be hitting. Yeah, this vibe feel smitten. Apple, cause it's so dang sweet. These streets, they ain't not sweet. Open up your mind, don't tweet. Everybody too focused on their tweets.
Yeah.
Stop tweeting that.
Yeah. Okay. I spit potent. Yeah, I'm D-Rosen. And yeah, I'm ballin'. You know I'm just the dopest. Every time I go in, I be dunking, I be showboating. And you know that I be floating.
Floating in the air.
I be going so hard that my ankle hurt. Every time I ball, got an ankle shirt.
Oh,
hey, put you on a shirt, your ankles hurt. Cause I cross you when you hit the floor, that's how it go. Every time I hit a flow and I do a show, you know they be screaming, "Hey kid, ISO, hey go ISO, go ISO, go ISO, hey go ISO, go ISO, go ISO."
Go ISO,
ISO.
Hop out on the court, throw ISO. Yeah, don't be that. Ooh, I want the school. I cannot flute, playing the flute. Yeah, feel like the master. I'm going Casper. Yeah, you ain't gon' see me. I just be dreaming. I be out here scheming. I'm out here leading. We got the vision, receive it. In the Super Bowl receiving. Now they wanna catch my ads. Used to be great at math. Then I hit trigonometry. I ain't counting no triangles. That ain't for me.
It's a Young Sox beat.
Shout out DJ Young Sox. The boy. I don't get lost in that trivial matters. I know what matters. I'ma let it splatter, yeah. I'm the chatter, ayy. Shout out to the plugs, yeah. This is Northside, yeah. We on the come up, yeah. We know what's up, yeah. Live by some clugs, yeah. We lost that trust, yeah. Ballin' by Rutgers. She sweet like Smuckers. She let me touch her. I'm ballin' so hard. I'm going so far. So where you at?
Bet. Hold up.
This
beat cold. Shout out Young Sox. I be getting home runs like the White Sox. Hey, and you know she like my Nike socks. So I just do it and I pull it out. I'm the best. You can't regret it. Everybody hate, but I don't care. Every time, man, I'm in the air. You can see me and you know I fell. Man, many streets not fair, but it's all good. I don't gotta care. I'ma grind for my mama. Tryna give her a llama. Ayy, tryna buy her a new house. Ayy, tryna get it from my new spouse. Ayy,
and my new spouse, yeah, she looking so sweet, so nice. Yeah, she growing up sprouts. She's a farmer. She shop at Target, ayy, but she ain't cheap, nah. Her mind is free, yeah. It's the girl for me, yeah. She's the world for me, yeah. Got my mind in the swirl, yeah. She the girl for me, ayy. She do anything for me, yeah. She gon' twirl for me, ayy. We nasty on the beat, yeah. She just hurl for me, ayy.
Hey,
I love this beat, bro.
I love this beat. You wanna start this one, bro?
for sure.
Northside plug.
Yo, I'ma start it up. I'ma fight it up. Man, you know how it go. I'ma start it up. Man, they hate on the kid, but I just fight it up. I just fight it up. I just fight it up. Hey, you know how it go when you on the road. Look at all these look at all these clothes. I'm tryna cash out on all these. I'm tryna get the bread for all the bros. Hey, shout out Rogers Park. That's where me and G Money gotta start. We been ballin' since we was youngins. Hey, but y'all hate for nothing. Hey, yo.
I got it bustin'. Yeah, you cannot touch me. Yeah, I'm hoping forever, living my life forever. Gotta get it together. Yeah, I feel under the weather. This is that seasonal depression. I don't know how I should express it. Turning my vocals up onto the mic. Justice, yeah, we got it bustin'. We getting buckets, yeah. Blowing them funnies, blowing them O's. I've been feeling down, feel like blows, yeah. But I'm on my toes. I'm standing so tall. I'ma get what I need. I don't shop at the mall. What I see is exclusive. Gotta tell them I do this. Now, got the blueprint. I'ma take it one day at a time. Focused on this music. Hate me cause you ain't me. Hate me cause you ain't me.
Hate me cause you ain't me.
Hate me cause you ain't me.
Hate me cause you ain't me. Hate me cause you ain't me.
This you? Oh yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead, bro.
hey, I've been grinding my whole life. Hey, hey, I've been grinding my whole life. Hey, hey, I ain't worried about no strife. Hey, hey, man, I'm tryna make it right. Hey, 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 I've been grinding my whole life. You can't tell me nothing. Just get up out my life and get up out my way, cause I'm about to take off. Hey, you know how it go. We finna shoot out. Hey, like I'm Steph Curry. I've been ballin' in the Bay like I'm Steph Curry. Got that 30 on my chest, you know I never hurry. I just go and do my move and then I go and win. Hey, haters gotta end. But I just gotta get my ends. And I'm just tryna meet my friends. Take them to the top place and do it all again. We gon'
do it all again, yeah. She wanna do it again. Keep it real, yeah. Starting these trends, yeah. Chasing my M's, yeah. I lost a lot of friends on my way, yeah. Lost a lot of friends on the way. Lost a lot of trust that fades away. Open out there, I take my pace. Well, a lot of people don't look me in my face. Open my eyes, I can see what's true. A lot of people asking me for the truth, so white flag. Nah, you ain't nice now. Lie. People changed on me, yeah, and I just lost my faith. I'ma stay true for my people, all the ones that stay, yeah. I've been through so much up in my mental, mess my brain up. I hope that this change up. I'm the same, yeah, sir. Look in the mirror, feeling acceptable. Everything used to feel so unacceptable. Living a life that I know is respectable.
Man, that was hot.
That one was hot.
That was a hot.
That was a hot track right there. Yo.
Damn, son, where'd you find
Where'd
this?
you find this one, man? I feel like this one of them beats you throw in the toaster. You make sure this beat extra crispy. Like my coffee, need it nice and dark. Need a flame, yeah, I need a spark. This is Northside Plug, South Rogers Park. I'm building my life, I feel like Tony Stark. I'm riding through the city, Noah's Ark. Got the game in my hand, got the parts. Yeah, I came up hustling, I got the heart. Hey, I use my mind, yeah, I played it smart. I went to college, I had to get knowledge, I had to show them what I could do. I could not care what they talking about, they talking about what they would do. I don't wanna be around that, nah, see what's gonna ensue. I'm focused on what I need to do, I know what we gon' pursue. We ain't out there hitting licks no more.
Nope.
Getting clean bread, get some more. Hey, with my dogs, we been on our force. I'm here with ISO Justice, spit some more.
And my boy just said spit some more.
Spit that
every time, man, you know I go.
Hey,
on freestyle, I just flow.
Flow.
I just me style when I flow. And I like to go real slow. Real slow. How you know it go? Hey, baby girl, drop it for the kid. Every time I see you, man, it's just so what's good, man, it's just sick. Every time that I spit, it's just sick. You hit the click. Woo.
That was a hot.
With these hot beats.
That was a hot cake. Justice with the hot cakes.
Justice with the hot cakes.
This just in.
Pause.
I
Go
like
ahead.
this sample.
You know what?
I said I like this melody.
True. Go ahead, just ISO start us off, dude.
Hey. I ain't never felt this way before. I don't know where I met you before. Hey. But we should go and we should just chill. I'ma take you on a town, it's gon' be ill. Baby girl, just roll with me tonight. Just roll with me tonight. Baby girl, just roll with me, just roll with me tonight. Just roll with me tonight. Just roll with me tonight. It's gon' be alright. We gon' party till the light.
I be spitting that ill, spit that virus. Yeah, see my eyes, yeah, the iris. I can see all these liars. Rather be on an island, fly far, far away. I just wanna see what this world gon' take. Me and all my peeps. I just wanna live life, feel so free. Got a big mind, yeah, feel anxiety. How we gon' switch up, find opportunity in the community. Everything going so crazy these days, I don't know how it seems. I almost lost my way when I was just spitting. Spit what is on my mind, never spit writtens. Now we got it clicking, yeah, we've been hustling. Find what we doing, yeah, tired of struggling. I can feel that you ain't real, hey. I just need some in my life that's real, hey. See before me signs that say keep it real, hey. Play my cards right, yeah, I keep it real, yeah. Keep it real, yeah, keep it real. Never gonna change, keep it real. Stop, stay the same, yeah, keep it real.
Keep it real.
Keep it real.
I keep it real.
I don't ever change, I'm the same, yeah. Keep it real, hey.
I keep it real. You know what's the deal? You know I'm sipping liquid chill. You know it's hella trill.
Hey,
you know the deal. Just roll with me tonight. Just roll with me. Just roll with me. Just roll with me tonight. Ooh.
yo. Ooh, last one for the day.
Hey.
Take a breather, ride that steamer, hit the cleaners, got them fresh clothes, yeah, got that nice ropa, got my toga, let me show you baby, let's go do some yoga, blowing green dough, yeah I'm blowing Yoda, feeling high, feeling right in my mind, I've been seeing a lot of crime in the streets after 9, used to be a kid in wine. Used to dream about big life, how we dying, ayy, yeah. Working hard, not even in the prime, ayy. Take it all in stride, yeah. How you gonna earn your stripes, ayy, yeah. This your moment, ayy. How you gon' get down, ayy? This your moment, ayy. Yeah, I don't play around, ayy. Stick to the moment, ayy. Yeah, we gon' get down, ayy. Yeah, stick it to the moment, ayy. Yeah, turn upside down. Talking about your frown, ayy. Yeah.
Yo, it's going down. Hey, and we gonna mess up the town. Yeah. So just, hey, roll it up for me. Hey, and take flight.
High speed.
Roll it up.
Hit that CBD.
It's gonna be a night. Roll it up.
Up for me.
It's gonna be alright.
Yes, indeed.
Roll it up.
Up for me. Oh,
we're gonna take flight.
yes, indeed. Fly. We gon' ride.
We gon' ride.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Smash.
We'll be back next week
We gon' be back next week.
for another
Be back
episode,
next
like
week.
every week.
Atlantis Peak.
Take care, everybody.
Tune in next week to another episode of Atlantis Peak.
Drive safe.
Drive safe. Stay away from the boys.
Stay in tune.
Roll it up.
As always, Chicago's favorite radio talk show,
In the world.
Northside Plug.
On Q4 Radio.
We out.
We outie. Be back next week.